So how functional units are connected. So in this session we are going to discuss about the bus structure, different types of buses in brief. So first of all, what is bus? So bus is a group of lines that serve as a connection path for several functional units. So using those group of lines, it is possible to transfer the data between the functional units. So the group of lines can be categorized into three. One is one set of group of lines, we call it as address bus, where it is going to carry the address, and the second one we call it as data bus, where it is going to carry the data transmission between the devices, and the control bus. So that is to carry the control signals. So this is a diagram that depicts about the single bus structure. So you can just observe this is a single bus, and where it contains group of lines, and each set of lines are dedicated for carrying the address of the device, then data and control information based on the operation. So it is going to carry the information. So using this bus, so it can interact with all the functional units and peripheral devices. So what is the limitation in this bus is, so at any given time only two devices or two units can be active involved in transmission of data. Only one data transmission can take place at given time. So that is a restriction. So if there is a transmission between input and memory, so only these two devices will be active. So remaining all units, it cannot transmit any data. So only these two devices can send the data at a given time. So that is about the single bus. So this bus is mainly used for connecting all these functional units. Even it is possible to transfer the data from memory to the processor, like how we have discussed in the previous topic, or it may be between the other IO devices. So what are the advantages of single bus? So this diagram is an example for a single bus. So because we are going to discuss the two different types of buses, one is single bus and the second one is multi-bus. So let's go and discuss about the single bus advantages and disadvantages. So here what are the advantages of single bus? So the cost is very low. So here we are just comparing with the multi-bus, where there multiple buses are available at the same time. Multiple devices can transmit the data. More than two devices can actively involve in transmission of data. So here it is single bus. Because of that, the cost is very low. Flexible for attaching peripheral devices. If any new devices to be attached to the bus, it is going to be very flexible. So these are the main advantages of single bus. So next we will move on to the multi-bus. So the system that contains multiple buses achieve more concurrency operation. That means the simultaneous data transmission is possible. More than one data transmission is possible at any given time. More than two devices can participate in transmission of the data at the same time. So that is the advantage of multi-bus. It is not going to restrict only two devices will be active during the transmission of data. So it's not necessarily more than two devices can transmit the data at the same time. So example I can give. So there may be transmission of data between the memory and the processor, and it can be between the input and memory. Okay, so like this it can perform multiple tasks at the same time. So what are the pros and cons of the multi-bus? So multi-bus structure certainly increases the performance. So obviously at the same time where it is allowing multiple operations, so the performance in terms of data transmission can be done at the faster rate using multi-bus. But at the same time it increases the cost significantly. More about this multi-bus and single bus, how exactly the data transmission takes place. So between the IO devices, and this is the actual bus. So between the bus and how these IO devices are going to exchange the data, all that you are going to learn in detail in the fifth module. So here whenever we start discussing about the IO devices, so there is always there is a trade-off with respect to speed. So always there is a speed issue because each of these devices works in different speed. So always the processor, it is capable of processing the data at faster rate, but it is not the same case in case of input device. Most of the time input device works at the speed based on the user, how fast the user is going to give the input, and the speed of the memory may be vary compared to the speed of the processor. So like this, all these devices which are connected to the bus are having different speed. So in that case, what is the speed of the bus it is going to, like, to perform each of the operation? Always in the bus, the operation is going to take place based on the clock information. So now to what time the clock should be set? Okay, so in that case, the clock speed is going to be set, or it is bounded by the slowest device, whichever the slowest device that is connected to the bus among those functional units. So based on that speed, the clock information is going to be set. So because of this, what happens? Even though other functional units are working at a faster rate or the speed is very high, but due to this condition it makes or it forces the even fastest device to work at a slower speed. So due to this, what happens, the efficiency may go down. So about this speed issues we are going to learn, we are going to discuss in detail in the later topics. So here what is the simple solution for this speed problem? So the simple solution is use buffers. Use buffers, like if you have observed that printer, when you are going to give a print option, first always it is going to buffer the document. Okay, each device is associated with a buffer. So either it may be an input device or it may be an output device, there is a buffer associated with it. So always whatever the input or whatever the key you are going to press, it is not going to send directly to the bus. First it is stored into the buffer, then from buffer it is sent to the bus. So why is that so? Because if you are pressing key A, so the binary bit, it is not going to send 10101 at a time. No, it is going to read one character, one by one word information. What is word here? Let me explain all these key terms in the later part. But here word is nothing but group of byte. Okay, so group of bytes. So it is going to store those group of bytes information and it is transferred at a time. Okay, it is not going to transfer either bit by bit or byte by byte. So it will store into the buffer the complete word and that complete word is transferred to the bus. Okay, so this is how the buffers can be used to solve the issues of the speed difference between the IO devices and functional units. So this is solved by using registers. So registers, it is capable of holding very small amount of data, but with respect to the speed, it can transfer the data at higher speed. These buffers are electronic registers of small capacity when compared to the main memory. So yesterday I was explaining about this main memory. So accessing time, always getting the data from main memory is it is going to take some amount of time to get the data from main memory. Instead of that, if the data is available in the register within the processor, so transferring of data, it may not take much of the time. So because registers, the cost involved for register is very high and the size of the register is very small. So due to that, we cannot store a lot of data in the registers. So we can store only small amount of data and remaining data it is always stored in the main memory. So using this buffer concept, it is possible to improve the speed of the IO devices.